Dark streets, wet from rain, reflect the flashing neon lights of the city. Somewhere in the shadows, a desperate plea echoes, cutting through the tension like a knife. Cami's voice trembles as she reaches out, begging Tommy for help. But in a world where loyalty is fragile, every choice carries a weight, and every hesitation can be deadly. This is not just a fight for survival, it's a fight for trust, love, and the life they thought they could hold on to. The city never sleeps, but tonight it feels like the streets themselves are holding their breath. Rain drips from the edges of darkened rooftops, creating tiny rivers along cracked sidewalks. Neon signs flicker above deserted alleys, their red and blue light bouncing off puddles, painting the night in flashes of danger and uncertainty. Somewhere beneath the harsh glow, shadows move quickly, like predators hunting for a mistake. The tension in the air is thick, and every sound feels louder footsteps echoing on concrete. The distant wail of a siren, the faint rustle of something falling. In the darkness, in the middle of all this, Cami is alone, her hands trembling as she clutches her phone, the screen glowing with a single unanswered message. Her breath comes fast, almost frantic, and her heart pounds like a drum against her chest. She knows she has no time to waste, but the weight of fear presses down on her like a heavy stone. Across the city, Tommy moves through the shadows, cautious, calculating. His face is unseen, lost in the blur of rain and neon, but the tension in his movement speaks louder than words ever could. He hesitates at every corner, listening, watching, unsure who to trust and unsure how to respond to the desperate calls of someone he cares about. The city around them is alive with chaos cars speeding past, horns blaring, voices shouting in the distance, but the real storm is the one building between them. Every alley they pass seems narrower, every shadow deeper, every sound more menacing. As Cami's desperation grows, so does the weight of Tommy's choices. He knows that stepping forward could mean risking everything, but stepping back could mean losing her forever. In this world, nothing is simple. Decisions are messy, consequences are brutal, and the line between friend and foe is thinner than. The rain sliding down the windows. She doesn't understand all the dangers he faces, but she feels the fear radiating from him. Every text left unread, every moment of hesitation, sends a shiver through her spine. The city seems to echo her own panic, the neon reflections breaking and twisting like a distorted mirror of her thoughts. She runs her fingers over the phone screen again, almost pleading with it to deliver a miracle, to give her a sign that he will come, that he will not leave her alone in this storm. Meanwhile, Tommy's shadow moves silently over wet streets, stepping cautiously past abandoned cars and dark corners. Every step measured. He's not just fighting the streets. He's fighting the pull of his own conscience, the tug of loyalty, the fear of failure. The weight of unspoken promises hangs heavily between them, a thread stretched thin over the chaos of the night. Somewhere, a faint sound, a door slamming, a muffled shout reminds them both that the city is always watching, always listening, and always ready to strike. Cami's eyes glisten with tears, reflecting the flickering lights, as she takes a deep, shaky breath and begins moving again. Every step she takes is filled with urgency, a silent prayer for Tommy to be there, for help to arrive before it's too late. The tension builds like the tightening of a coiled spring, each heartbeat echoing louder than the last, until the city itself feels alive with suspense. And in this moment, the viewer feels it too. The storm is coming, the choices are impossible, and the night is far from over. The rain doesn't stop. It pours harder now, drumming relentlessly against the rooftops and the cracked pavement, turning the streets into slick, mirror-like surfaces that reflect the chaos above. Shadows stretch long and distorted under flickering streetlights, twisting and merging like they have a life of their own. Every step Cami takes feels uncertain, as if the city itself is conspiring to slow her down, to trap her in a web of fear and desperation. Her hands shake slightly, clutching the phone tighter, thumb hovering over the screen, unable to send another message, but unable to stop herself either. Each unanswered text feels like a small betrayal, a widening gap between her and Tommy, whose Presence feels just out of reach, a phantom moving silently through the night. She pauses at a street corner, glancing over her shoulder at the empty alley behind her. The shadows there shift unnaturally, a flicker of movement catching her eye. Her breath quickens. Every nerve is on edge. She knows danger doesn't announce itself. It creeps, it waits. A low, distant rumble of thunder echoes through the streets, and for a moment, it feels like the city is holding its breath along with her. Meanwhile, Tommy navigates a maze of narrow back streets, his movements deliberate, careful, each step measured to avoid the danger that lurks unseen. Neon signs flash intermittently, illuminating brief glimpses of his silhouette as he pauses, but never long enough for anyone or the audience to fully grasp his presence. His mind races with possibilities, weighing every risk, every choice. He can hear Cami's urgency in the messages she sent, sense her desperation even through the glow of the screen in the dark. And yet, he cannot move too quickly, cannot reveal himself too soon. One wrong step could set off a chain reaction that neither of them could survive. The streets are alive with murmurs and whispers, shadows shifting at the edges of vision. Street lights buzzing, cars speeding past with tires hissing on wet asphalt. It all adds to the tension, a symphony of unease that mirrors the turmoil growing between them. Every heartbeat seems to echo louder than the last, a drumbeat counting down to some unknown confrontation. Cami's fear begins to mix with determination. She starts to run, moving faster now, slipping through puddles and darting past darkened doorways, her figure swallowed briefly by the night before reappearing under the neon glow. The rain soaks her clothes, plastering her hair to her face, but she barely notices. Her focus is singular. Find Tommy, convince him, make him understand that there's no time to hesitate. Every shadow becomes a potential threat, every noise a possible sign of pursuit, yet she presses on, ignoring the ache in her legs, the sting of cold rain. The gnawing sense of dread that refuses to leave. Somewhere ahead, faint lights flicker. In a building, perhaps a place he might be, perhaps a trap, but she cannot stop to question it. She moves forward, trusting instinct, propelled by a mix of fear, hope, and raw desperation. Tommy, in contrast, moves like a ghost, silent and careful. Each alleyway brings a new decision, a new risk. He passes abandoned cars, watches darken windows, listens to the subtle sounds of the city, the scuff of a shoe, the creak of a door hinge, the distant hum of traffic. Every choice carries weight. Every hesitation could cost lives, and all the while, he feels the pull of Cami's presence, even without seeing her, like a tether pulling him toward confrontation, toward the inevitable collision between what they both want and what the city demands. Somewhere in the distance, a sudden flicker of movement, a shadow darting across a rooftop. The brief flash of a neon sign reflecting on a wet wall alerts both of them to the danger growing nearer. The storm is not only in the sky, but in the streets, in the tension, in the choices yet to be made. And with every step, every heartbeat, the city seems to tighten around them, pressing in, as if testing who will break first, who will fight, and who will survive this night alive. The night feels heavier now, almost suffocating, as if the city itself is closing in around them. Rain still pours relentlessly, turning every street into a slick, reflective battlefield. Cami moves faster, her feet splashing through puddles, her chest rising and falling in a frantic rhythm. Each step carries urgency, but with it comes fear that she is running out of time, fear that Tommy may not come, fear that whatever is waiting in the shadows is closing in too quickly. Neon signs flicker sporadically, their reflections breaking into distorted shapes on the wet asphalt, mirroring her growing anxiety. Every corner seems darker than the last, every alley longer, and the sound of distant traffic and sirens mixes with the steady drum of rain to create a chaotic symphony, one that matches the storm brewing inside her. Her hands shake as she grips her phone again, scrolling through her messages, hoping for a sign, any sign, that he is near, that he has not abandoned her. But the screen stays cold, glowing in her hand like a silent accusation, reminding her that she is still alone for now. Tommy, moving silently a few blocks away, feels the pull of responsibility like a weight pressing into his chest. Every instinct tells him to hurry, to reach her before danger finds her first. But caution claws at him, demanding he move carefully, unseen and heard. His shadow stretches long under flickering streetlights, bending and twisting with each movement, a ghost. In a city full of ghosts, he pauses at an intersection, listening to the faint echoes of footsteps behind him, the distant buzz of neon, the quiet scuff of someone or something approaching. Every sound becomes amplified. A potential threat, a signal of unseen eyes. His mind races with possibilities, ambushes, betrayals, accidents. The city is unpredictable, chaotic, and unforgiving, and yet the pull toward Cami is stronger than any fear. He knows that reaching her is not just a matter of physical movement, it's about. Somewhere, a faint light flickers in the distance, a doorway illuminated in the otherwise endless darkness. Cami slows for a split second, squinting through the rain, uncertain if it is a safe haven or another trap. Her mind races. Should she run toward it, hide, or keep moving blindly? She chooses movement, driven by instinct more than reason. Her breath forms clouds in the cold night air, mixing with the mist rising from the wet streets, creating a sense of motion, urgency, and uncertainty. Tommy watches from the shadows, calculating the timing, the angles, the risks. Every step deliberate, knowing that one wrong move could spell disaster. The city is no longer just a backdrop, it has become a character in itself, alive with danger, full of eyes, ears, and intentions they cannot see. As the distance between them shrinks, the tension escalates. Cami's footsteps echo like gunshots against empty walls. Her voice rises in silent plea. She doesn't dare speak, and the storm overhead mirrors the storm within both of them. Every shadow threatens, every sound alarms, and the night stretches endlessly as if time itself is waiting for the inevitable collision. And through it all, the viewer feels the heartbeat of the city, the pulse of desperation, and the crushing weight of every decision that lies ahead. In this labyrinth of rain, neon, and fear, Cami and Tommy are moving closer and closer to the moment when choices will no longer be avoidable, when loyalty will be tested, and when the night will demand answers neither of them are fully ready to give. The city seems to close in around them as the night grows darker, the rain turning streets into slick, reflective pots that shimmer with neon light. Every step Cami takes feels like walking through a maze where every corner hides a new danger. Her chest tightens with each breath, her fingers clutching her phone as if it were a lifeline. The messages she's sent remain unanswered, each one adding weight to her desperation. She glances over her shoulder constantly, shadows dancing at the edges of her vision, making familiar streets feel foreign and threatening. The sound of distant traffic, the clatter of something falling in an alley, even the hum of a flickering streetlight makes her jump, each noise magnified by the storm and her growing fear. Her mind races, trying to predict where Tommy might be, how close danger is, and whether she will reach him before it's too late. The city is alive in a way that feels almost hostile, pressing in with rain and darkness, turning every step into a gamble. Meanwhile, Tommy moves like a shadow, careful and calculated. He knows the streets well, but tonight they feel unfamiliar, charged with tension. Every flicker of light, every movement in the corner of his eye is scrutinized, weighed for risk. His steps are silent, purposeful, but the urgency behind them is unrelenting. The thought of Cami, alone and desperate, pulls him forward, though caution keeps him hidden, a phantom moving through alleys and side streets. His mind jumps between strategy and fear, wondering who might be watching, who might strike first, and how to protect her without being discovered. Every decision feels monumental. One misstep could shatter everything. The storm around him, pounding rain, and wind whipping past only amplify the pressure, making each breath feel heavier, each movement more critical. Cami single quotes as desperation drives her into a narrow alley, puddles splashing underfoot as she pushes through the darkness. She doesn't know what lies ahead, only that she has to find him. The city's sounds seem to conspire against her, the distant rumble of a car engine, the sudden clang of a metal door, the whisper of her own footsteps echoing off walls. Her heart pounds not only with fear but with urgency, each beat matching the rhythm of the storm above. Somewhere nearby, the glow of neon lights briefly illuminates her face, wet with rain. Eyes wide with determination and worry, she stops for a fraction of a second, scanning the shadows, sensing movement but unsure if it is Tommy, danger, or just a trick of the light. She moves again, faster now, adrenaline pushing her beyond exhaustion. Driven by the hope that he is close, that he has not left her to face this chaos alone. Tommy, from a few streets away, catches sight of movement, of fleeting shadow in the rain, a silhouette that could be Cami. His pulse quickens, but he does not rush. Each step must be precise, each decision deliberate. The streets are unforgiving, full of threats hidden in plain sight. He knows she's close, yet the tension keeps him cautious. Rushing blindly could endanger them both. The city itself seems to watch, alive with anticipation. Every neon reflection and puddle hiding potential danger. The distance between them shrinks, yet the obstacles multiply, shadows stretching long and dark, concealing threats, and making every step toward each other feel like navigating a labyrinth of uncertainty. Every heartbeat is heavy, every breath weighed down by the night's tension. The storm, the city, and their fear collide, creating a thick, almost tangible tension that wraps around them both, binding them in a desperate, suspenseful dance. As the minutes stretch on, the sense of inevitable confrontation grows. Cami runs, slipping through rain-slicked streets, guided by instinct more than sight. Tommy moves like a ghost, calculating each turn, each hidden danger. Knowing that the night offers no second chances, the city pulses around them, alive with peril, reflections dancing across wet asphalt, shadows shifting with intent, sounds magnified and distorted. The distance closes, but the stakes rise. Every movement, every glance over a shoulder, every flash of neon light builds the tension, creating a night that feels endless, where danger lurks behind every corner and survival demands precision, courage, and trust. The invisible thread between them pulls taut, each step charged with the promise of confrontation, revelation, and the impossible choice between fear and action. The night has grown colder, and the rain falls in relentless sheets, turning every street into a shimmering, treacherous path. Cami's feet are soaked, her clothes clinging to her body as she presses forward, driven by a mixture of fear, determination, and a desperation that burns hotter than the storm around her. Her breathing is ragged, her pulse racing in time with the drum of raindrops hitting the concrete and the distant echoes of traffic and sirens. Every corner she rounds feels like stepping deeper into a trap. Every alleyway threatens danger, yet she cannot stop. She glances at her phone one more time, still no response, and the panic within her grows sharper, more urgent. She knows Tommy is out there somewhere, close but elusive, and the weight of that unknown distance gnaws at her with every step. The city seems alive tonight, almost sentient, its shadows stretching long and dark, hiding threats that could strike without warning. Tommy's presence is a silent force, moving with calculated precision through the storm-soaked streets. Each step is deliberate, measured, but beneath his control simmers tension, the kind that makes his muscles taut and his senses razor-sharp. He is acutely aware of the dangers lurking in the alleys. The glint of a knife, the shadow of a figure waiting to strike. He pauses at a flickering streetlight, peering down a narrow street where neon reflections twist on puddles like liquid fire. Somewhere ahead, he senses movement, small, fleeting, almost imperceptible, but enough to trigger his instincts. His mind races, weighing possibilities, predicting risks, calculating the moment when he can finally reach Cami without drawing attention to her or himself. Every instinct screams that the city is not just a backdrop, it is an active, dangerous participant, full of eyes that watch and hands that reach from the dark. Cami's desperation pushes her into a tighter alley, the walls closing around her. Rain dripping from the edges, forming pools that ripple with every step. Her movements are frantic yet purposeful, each one a silent plea to the unseen world to allow her to reach Tommy in time. The sounds around her, the buzz of neon lights, the distant roar of engines, the slap of her shoes against what can create a rhythm that mirrors her escalating panic. Shadows flicker with every blink of light, and for a moment, a figure seems to emerge, then dissolve back into darkness. Her heart leaps, hope mingled with fear, thinking it might be him. Thinking it might be her salvation, only to realize that the night has more surprises in store. Tommy edges closer, navigating the labyrinth of streets with careful precision. His eyes scan every corner, every doorway, every darkened window. He moves like a shadow, yet the urgency in his steps betrays his concern, his fear of what might happen if he fails. Somewhere in the distance, Cami's muffled footsteps echo, faintly, a fragile thread connecting them across the rain-soaked streets. He can feel it, the invisible tension pulling him forward, guiding him toward her even as every part of the city seems determined to keep them apart. Alleyways twist unexpectedly. Shadows hide dangers, and the rain distorts sounds, making every step unpredictable. Each heartbeat is loud in their ears, each breath a reminder that the night is unforgiving, and hesitation could cost them everything. The tension tightens, almost unbearable. As they draw closer without knowing it, Cami's movements grow more urgent, almost frantic, and Tommy's focus sharpens, instincts heightened. The storm above mirrors the storm building between them, fear, desperation, and an unspoken bond that neither distance nor danger can break. Every reflection in a puddle, every flicker of neon light, every shadow stretching across the walls becomes a part of the narrative, a visual cue of the perils surrounding them.